We just got home from the grocery store not too long ago, so let me show you what my fridge looks like before I process everything, how I process it, and then what it looks like after. As you can see, I have lettuce stacked up. This is tons of meat and fresh vegetables that leaked all over, so we have to clean that as well. This is leftover food, and then the rest of it right here. So let's get this taken care of. First things first, let's make a bath. I like to use just white vinegar because I try to keep everything as natural as possible, and I don't like using other produce cleaners and stuff like that. I know this is edible, I know it's safe, so I prefer to use this as a bath water for all my vegetables. So I'm just gonna start with the lettuce and then we're gonna end up throwing more vegetables in there. I just cut the ends off and then I inspect it as I separate it. The store didn't have good romaine today. I'm a lettuce snob. I only eat romaine lettuce. Iceberg just doesn't feel right. This may seem like a lot of lettuce, but this is a week's worth. Heads of romaine every week. And then what I like to do is just take it and mush it around to kind of get the water flowing. Make sure everything's separated and submerged. And while that's still filling up a little bit, let's go ahead and do the rest of the veggies. I like to buy radishes and keep them on hand. Celery is a hit and miss with me. Sometimes I buy it and I eat a ton of it with almond butter and stuff. And then sometimes I just go through stages and I'm like, I don't even like celery. It's just gross. And then I'm going to cut mine like that length. I have a couple of cucumbers and a couple of zucchini. Just going to give them a good stir real quick. My kitchen is a little cluttered today, so we're just going to work with it. But what I like to do is just lay some towels out. I usually do 3 to 4 towels. If I'm just doing lettuce, it's usually just 3. That's gonna be good enough. I've got everything set up. I did move some stuff. This is drying. It's a water fountain for the cats. But I'm gonna work like an assembly line. Okay. So I have my strainer here. I have my colander here. I'm gonna pull the lettuce out first. I still have my cutting board, so I'm gonna chop it. I'm gonna spin it and then I'm gonna lay it out to dry. Like an assembly line. I have tried it different ways, and sometimes I will just spin my leaves and then I'll chop them, or sometimes just let them out to dry. I find that if I just go ahead and chop them the way I want them and then spin them, I get more water off that way and it saves space. I could do more at a time because if I put the big leaves in there, then I can't put as many. It just saves me a little bit of time because there's already a lot of lettuce and it takes a little while. And I want to keep its crunch factor, so I don't let it sit forever in the water, and I don't want to sit forever on the counter because I have done that. It loses its crunch. It's definitely not as good. So I know you can't see because of this fountain, but I'm just grabbing handfuls, just chopping them up. I do strips like this, just bite-sized pieces, nothing too crazy over here. And then once I have a good amount in there, just spin it, and then I honestly just dump it out. Look at all that water I just pulled off of there. It's crazy. You just want to spread everything out so it can dry out. Get some breathing room. Here's everything laid out drying. Sit down because I hurt my ankle the other day and I'm tired of standing on it. So I brought everything I needed to process the meat. I have a trash can right here for all the trash and then baggies. So let me see what's first. Pork chops is first. We're going to use a few bags for that. I'm going to process some of the hamburger, but then I want to use some of it and try a new recipe for meatballs and then just form those and freeze those. So I'll let you know how that goes too. And then I have beef stew cubes as well. I just like to go ahead and prep a few bags. It's just easier when my hands get dirty that I can just do this. First up is pork chops. These are a lot thicker than I thought they were going to be. They're pork chops. Yeah.
So big. You're gonna cook them differently. This one is
Should I go ahead and just cut them now? Cut them in half?
or
I'm just gonna cut them. I don't know how to cook that.
growing. Put the same long.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut them.
We are.
Yeah, I did.
I'll go there and done.
I'm gonna cut all of them in half and then bag them right here on this cutting board. Good enough. I'm gonna do 2 whole ones in each bag. The goal is to keep one hand as clean as possible while the other hand handles all the meat and gets dirty and stuff. And that way you're not really cross-contaminating stuff. So when I touch the outside of the bag, I only do it with this hand. That way it can stay as clean as possible. Did you know that pork chops and salmon have almost the same macros? It's pretty cool. I do tend to eat a lot more salmon than I do pork chops, but it's nice to switch things up every once in a while. I'm not a huge pork eater. I do incorporate pork a little bit because these are actually so tiny and I only have one more medallion left or chop. I'm just going to add it to that one because I'm worried. I eat about 5 to 6 ounces of meat every meal, depend on the meat. I'm going to add that to this one just to make sure I cook enough. And if we have leftovers, that's fine too. I'm going to wash up and prep for the next meat. All right, let's get some more bags prepped. Normally I do chicken too, but when I went to Costco, I just bought the largest bag of chicken breasts. So we're gonna try them out. Generally, I don't like frozen chicken like that, but I figured why not try it, see how I like it. If not, we'll start buying the fresh stuff again and then I'll just package it myself. It was the stew meat that was bleeding everywhere.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're just gonna do cubed stew meat. And I'm thinking just halving it, half and half. Oh man, don't touch the outside of my bag. That might be halves. Let's do this one. Looks good to me. Let's clean up and get ready for the next meat. All cleaned up and ready for the hamburger. Gonna do a very small batch of the meatballs, just in case I don't like them. This package is actually pretty bloody, so I'm gonna leave it in the bowl and just grab as needed. Hamburger is by far my favorite meat to eat. What is yours? I like pretty much anything from the cow, but hamburger's definitely like the top protein that I like to eat. I think that's good. We're just winging this, by the way. I'm just trying to fill up the bag. And when I cook it, I cook a lot anyways. I do bulk prep my meat. Sometimes I make taco meat. I have taco meat in the fridge right now. And then sometimes I just make salt and pepper on my hamburger. And it just all depends. I think that's good. Let's put a little more in this one. And then we'll just use all of that as a third for the meatballs. Okay. I'm going to get this all put up in the freezer and then we'll do the meatballs. I'm not,
Have to stay from God.
but I'm not.
Don't worry. I'm just excited about it.
But I'm not.
You don't mind me at all.
Okay, this is what my freezer looks like right now. I do keep fish right here. This is miscellaneous meat. This my very large bag of chicken. And then this is hamburger and some chicken. And then I usually keep all my vegetables down here. But as you can see, I do have turkey as well. And then that bottom cabinet is just his stuff. Because of that very large bag of chicken, I had to take one of my containers out that I normally use. So let's see if we can figure out how to do this and keep some sort of organization. Everything is a first in, first out type of thing. That way we're using the older products first and then using the newer products last. I think that's all the hamburger I could fit in there. Just for some sanity and organization, I might just move the chicken down with my broccoli and use another tray like I normally have in there. I do push all the air out and flatten all the meat. That way it stays nice and stacked. You can also put more in there when you do it that way. Sometimes, though, it gets stuck in little holes and you have to wiggle them out. So, I have to be careful with that. And this bag is a little wet because of the condensation. So, it's probably going to freeze together. So, this is going to be a workout to get them apart, but we'll deal with that later. Honestly, I might just take one out because it's going to be hard. So, I'm just going to leave this one on top. Okay, so I'm going to use my other tray and we're going to put the broccoli in it. Like I said, literally the largest size of chicken ever. May have been a mistake. This is all broccoli. Yes, I eat this with broccoli. A lot of broccoli. Okay, this is what my freezer is looking now. I did put the turkey up with the fish because whatever. And I did put 2 pieces of chicken on top of the hamburger pork chops. And that's also a pork chop. And the stew meats with that. Big bag of chicken here and all my broccoli here. Like I said, his stuff. So it's what else. So I literally just did all that and you didn't even see it. So let me show you. I just take the towels like this because everything's already pre-cut. I just dump it in like this. Like I said, this is a lot of lettuce, but this is a week's worth. Because we were buying half this, just one bag of it. And I was like, I'm going to the store all the time just for lettuce. So I found that a little silly. So it's a little inconvenient. I have to squish it a little bit. to get it to fit in the container. But this is like the best container ever. It has a perforated lid and it also has a little tray in the bottom of it so it can breathe. I find that this container keeps lettuce so much longer and better than any other method that I have ever tried. So I love it. So, you know that bigger container I just stuck in the freezer? I normally use it for fresh vegetables, but I put my frozen vegetables in it because we needed to. So I'm gonna use these smaller ones. Honestly, it'll be okay. And what I like to do is just stack them up like this, like items. Celery is best if you store it in water. That's what I'm going to do here in a second. But I'm going to put, you know what? We're going to stick them all in here together, like one big happy family. And then for the celery, we're just going to put it in a container like this. And then we're going to fill it up most of the way with water. All right, so my fridge is done. My little farmer's market. So we absolutely love having a drink section, and this is a grocery store or a gas station where we pull it out and the next one comes up. My little farmer's market, so I can grab fresh vegetables. Yes, I use that much milk with my protein drinks. And then here we have meat and leftovers, things we need to eat. So you can see here I have my taco meat and that's leftover chicken, sauerkraut, pumpkin puree, and that's his sausages. And behind there is yogurts for him. And in the very back is pickles. And then a ton of butter, sour cream and eggs. Here is my vegetable drawer. The trays fit in there perfectly. I do keep tomatoes. There is mushrooms in a brown paper bag. That's the best way to keep them. And then I love these fresh papers. Let me show you. The fresh papers that I'm using, I like them. I find that they help keep the vegetables better longer and they kind of smell to them. They smell like tomatoes. So if you know what tomatoes and a lot of tomatoes smell like, that's what these smell like. But I absolutely do see a difference when I use the papers like this with my fresh vegetables. And that way keeps everything better, longer. And then last but not least is my very messy cheese drawers. Okay, for the meatballs, we're just gonna do salt, pepper, paprika, garlic, and I'm gonna put them on a tray lined with parchment first just to freeze them, and then they're gonna go in Ziploc baggies. So let's go ahead and season the meat. It's a pretty thick piece of meat. That should be enough. I want my meat well seasoned. And then salt and pepper. That should be good. And then I'm just going to end up dumping all of this garlic in here. We love garlic. Also, 'tis the season for vampires. And I'm just going to go ahead and throw on some gloves. That way it's not all up in my fingernails. And these meatballs are just going to be like a snack or don't really know what to do, but don't really want to like cook because I will be able to take these straight out of the freezer and stick them in the air fryer. A little something different, but then also just quick and easy. Honestly, being on keto, things are really easy. The meals are easy. I'm basically just eating salads once a day, and then my other meal is usually just sticking chicken or steak or hamburger mixed with like green beans or broccoli. Honestly, that's all I eat. I do try to make things different, keep it interesting so I don't get bored, and also because I am feeding two people. I think this is the size of meatballs we're gonna do. It's about like an inch. Doesn't matter what size they are as long as they're uniformed, right? What? You can't have any. No, you can't get up here either. You know, ask Daddy to bring you a stool over. Can you bring Zane a stool? Can you bring Zane a stool, please? He really wants you to. Come on, get up here. Zane wanted to be a part of this. We let them sit on the stools, but that's as far as they can get. They're not allowed on the counters or anything like that. But they do love sitting beside me when I'm doing different stuff. Normally, I don't sit and cook or make food. So this is a new experience for them and me. But like I'll sit at the counter and be working or whatever. And they like to sit on the chair next to me. My cats are a little spoiled. Aren't you? A little spoiled. Tiny, but a little. All right, so I think that is it. And I'm just going to freeze these. And then, like tomorrow, I'm just going to take them and put them in a Ziploc bag and leave them in the freezer. And then I can grab a few at a time and cook them as needed. So I think that is it. I appreciate you watching and I hope you learned something new. Let me know if you use any of these tricks at home or if you have any other tips and tricks that would help. And I will see you next time.